Hey, all you awesome people. We have a wonderful support group for you this evening. This is not directly related to the holidays. I didn't want it to be. I actually wanted it to be more so about how to set yourself up for 2024. These concepts can most definitely be applied to the rest of this month and New Year's, whatever you want to apply it to, because this can become a part of your day to day. In fact, I hope it does. So you may be confused as to why the heck I have this title up here. So this title says my goals, I mean standards for 2024. So we talk so much about goals that I'm tired. I honestly hate using the word goals anymore, and I really like the word standards. And the reason this even came up is our one of our peer coaches, Jen. Jen, did you ever figure out where you found
No, it was
or where you heard this?
on a podcast I was listening to, and I haven't I listened
Oh,
to
okay.
way too many. It's like an addiction for me, a podcast addiction. And
Yeah.
so I couldn't figure it out. But yeah, they were, or I don't mean to take over. You can finish, but yes, it was a podcast and then I shared it with you guys.
Oh, okay. I mean, by no means, it's not one person in the world's idea. It's probably a very popular idea. I'm just now hearing it. And this does not mean let's forget all of our goals and never have a goal again. We are not saying that by any means, but we all know that, whether it's weight loss surgery or just starting something new or trying to uphold your promises to yourself, whatever you're trying to do for the future, we can kind of essentially be a little bit easier on ourselves and give ourselves more of a generalized, not goal, but set standards for ourselves. I'm going to quit actually trying to explain it and we'll get into the slides. But yeah, the reason we're doing this is because there is not one way to do anything after weight loss surgery. Some people may prefer to have more very specific goals that they follow on the day to day, week to week, month to month, whatever. But other people may find it difficult just because maybe there's not a lot of good systems in place in their lives. And that's okay too. You can get there eventually. But setting standards instead of goals could actually help resolve some of those issues that come up when we're trying to stick to something specific. So it doesn't maybe necessarily need to be so hop into this because I do want you guys to start getting your brain moving about what maybe you could change as far as your goals or standards in 2024. Okay. So results. After weight loss surgery, we all know how challenging it is can be that blah, 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 how challenging it can be to did I record? I didn't even hit record, did I?
It's recording.
Dead gummit. Yeah, I did. Okay, I'm recording. Okay, sorry. So after weight loss surgery, you know how challenging it can be to achieve sustainable results. And when I say sustainable results, I mean like say you choose to do something a certain way and it's equaling X. Like that's sustainable, like sustainable results, as in, like, we're not good doing a crash diet to lose 5 pounds. That's not sustainable results. Like, we want to create systems or even standards, what we're talking about, to create results that last for a while. We want to keep the weight off, obviously, or we want to continue our routine with exercise, or we want to create this healthy mindset and keep it that way. We can't just, you know, laissez faire, make arbitrary goals that just don't make sense. We're not going to have sustainable results. So we're here to help you understand why creating goals versus standards. Goals are specific and measurable outcomes. Okay, so they're specific and measurable. So if you were to look at my weight loss surgery survival guide, there's a whole page about how to set SMART goals. They are very specific and they're measurable. And then standards, personal values. They're personal values that dictate the choices that we make in our daily lives. So whenever we're creating stand out something, we can set a standard. We have to actually have some kind of connection and feeling toward that in order for it to even make sense. So I can't set like some kind of important in my life, or that doesn't relate to some kind of result I'm trying to achieve. So setting standards for yourself really helps you to build a foundation, which that's the most important word out of this sentence. It's a foundation, lasting change. So let's talk about setting standards for nutrition. So how setting standards for nutrition can help you achieve your goals. Instead of focusing solely on just nutrition in these particular areas, the types of food that you eat, how you eat, and when you eat. You could add to that list if you want to. We're just starting with those three. So up above where that sentence I just read, and instead of focusing solely on weight loss goals, so what I'm saying there is instead of focusing on the weight loss goal itself, if we were to create standards in these three areas, we're going to essentially, everything's going to follow. You will essentially lose weight by proxy by following these types of standards that you set for yourself. So we don't have to necessarily focus on this number or this or this or this. It's going to come if we create this consistency with creating standards. So some examples of create for yourself. Like the first one I completely agree with. Like I know what the result is if I eat fried foods. I'm not worried about gaining weight. I'm worried about running to the toilet and having a really bad stomach ache or breaking my face breaking out in acne or just feeling like absolute garbage. I know the result of eating those types of foods and it's absolutely not worth it to me. So I have a standard in my life where I'm not going to eat fried foods. You may have some type of different standard, but that's an example. Obviously, after weight loss surgery, foods are not recommended, but it's within limits. So you may also tell yourself, I don't eat foods high in added sugars. So that might mean literally, I don't eat foods that are above X amount of grams per serving. So let's say you eat 5 times in a day or, drink X amount of beverages, whatever. Maybe set your limit to no more than 5 grams per serving. So your daily intake doesn't exceed 25. Sure, that right there, which I'm about to do this myself, limiting your added sugars, because we all know added sugars add up in calories, that they create inflammation, that they promote disease. We can go on and on about added sugars all day long. Next. Can y'all hear me?
Right now, yes, it's been pretty choppy for the past few minutes.
Wonderful. Somebody's asking for a break on the cable. Gotta get a different internet. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay. What part did you hear last before I cut out?
I think it all came through. It's just very delayed and
Choppy.
very choppy. Yeah, it'll be kind of slow and robotic sounding, and then it will speed up. Yeah.
Okay. What I'm going to do, Jennifer, will you turn your video off? And I'm going to turn my video off as well. I don't even know if I can. I guess I could. Okay. Video off. So that'll hopefully get us more bandwidth. Okay.
I tried to turn mine off, but now it's probably okay.
Boop, 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 boop. Now I gotta share my screen again. Hold on, getting everything set back up.
Can I chime in while you're doing
totally
that?
kicked off. Yes,
Wait,
absolutely. Go ahead.
well, I just kind of
I
wanted
forgot all about you.
I just kind of wanted to add on to what you were saying. I don't really have anything groundbreaking, different. But I just want to reiterate that when you set a goal, typically when you get there, then you are there. And then what? It's kind of like, like focusing on the pounds on the scale or the size pants or whatever, what you did to get there a lot of the time is probably not sustainable because that was the only thing you were focusing on is a number or a whatever. But when you set standards, it's forever. It's just, this is who I am.
Yeah.
They are a way of life. It's not short term. It's not until I get here. It's, this is
Right.
the kind of life that I'm going to live. And this is what I refuse to put in my body, or this is what I insist on putting in my body, or this is how many minutes a day I exercise or whatever. So it's just really it was a mind blowing shift for me that I really needed because I tend to get stuck in the numbers a lot. So I really like this so much. So yeah.
I loved it. I really did. I mean, well, I have trouble making my own goals and sticking to them. And I would 1000% agree that standards are so much easier to, of course, again, like not that standards are taking place of goals necessarily, but it can be a really good way to create consistency in your life versus, just always being so hard on yourself. So, I mean, when we're talking about those times of the year, like Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's, and even making New Year's resolutions, maybe those don't include goals this time. Maybe those do include creating standards for nutrition, mindset, and exercise. So we'll get into more of these too. Um, is everybody still with me? I think so. You're all just muted. Okay. So another one, you might want to say, I eat a vegetable with every meal. So a lot of people have a really tough time fitting in vegetables in their diet. So maybe you mix in some spinach or green bell peppers and onions and whatever with your omelet in the morning. Maybe you have carrots with your ranch at a snack time. Maybe you have a salad at lunchtime with other veggies and protein. So you get where I'm going with that. Maybe with fluids, you say, I always ensure I drink 64 ounces of water alone. And anything beyond that is your extras, like not unhealthy extras necessarily, but stuff that you enjoy. I like this one a lot. I rehydrate upon waking and eat a protein rich breakfast before drinking coffee. This is a huge one because a lot of people run to the coffee very first thing, and that is like a gut wrecker. No judgment. I've done it many times. But that's a really good shift in the way you start your day just by doing. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but that can be life changing for your
Whitney,
body and your brain to
Whitney,
kind of shift the way you're waking your body up in the morning. Yes.
you're still like breaking up real slow and robotic. I would try turning your
Yes.
camera off because it's still on.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Is your
Oh
camera?
yeah. Why? I thought I turned it off.
No, yeah, you're still breaking up. It's like super slow and robotic.
Okay.
It might help. It should probably help to turn the camera
Good
off.
now.
Keep going.
Oh my gosh, this is terrible. I wonder if I can move.
No, it sounds better now that your camera's off.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
This is such a bummer. It says your internet connection is okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to go somewhere else next time. I can't keep doing it at home. Okay. And then I don't eat fast food. So that's a big one too. Maybe that is your standard. That is not a hard standard by any means, in my opinion. Like, I don't eat fast food. That's a great rule. You're missing out on so much crap. And there's a gray area what we consider fast food. I don't consider Chick-fil-A fast food. But how you eat. So that's our second one for nutrition. So maybe you make standards for how you eat or the way you eat. Maybe a couple of these I'm just going to run through. I don't eat when I'm bored. I blank instead. So that's your new standard. I don't eat in front of the TV. So these could very much be like used. Some of these. I eat only during scheduled meal times or when I'm actually. So you can either say, I don't skip meal. Like you can say I don't or I do kind of statements if you want to. I make food decisions based upon what I need, not want most of the time. And I eat in undistracted areas so I can tolerate my foods best and concentrate on my hunger fullness cues so I don't overeat. That's a little bit of a long one. You can kind of shorten that and specify it to your own. And then when you eat. So this could be very literal as well. I don't eat past blank PM. I only eat at scheduled meal times. Blah, blah, blah. I eat when I know my body needs fuel and when I feel hungry, not emotionally hungry. I don't eat just because there's food in front of me. So, you can kind of picture yourself or visualize what your biggest struggles are throughout the week, year, whatever, and kind of just say, okay, I'm not ever going to just snack on stuff just because it's laying in front of me at a party. Like I just don't do that anymore. That's not me. I do this instead. I look up what they're going to have ahead of time on the menu, or I have a one-on-one session with myself that's where you're talking to yourself, hyping yourself up. Like I'm going to be prepared. I used to do this, but that's not me anymore. I've moved on from that. I've grown. So you can always kind of have your little talk with yourself before these, just to remind yourself of them. And then so exercise would be next. So why creating exercise standards is crucial for achieving success. So rather than setting arbitrary goals like exercising for 30 minutes every day, which I've told people to do that too. So again, this is one of those things like whatever, to each their own, just commit to exercising for 30 minutes a day. That may be someone who is like, I don't want to say bottom of the barrel, but you're like reaching for something that's perfectly acceptable. But that can be quite arbitrary sometimes. It can just be too loosey-goosey, non-committed kind of goal. So maybe a standard is more up your alley. So establish standards for the types of physical activity you engage in, how often you exercise, and the intensity of your workout. So these are all somewhat measurable things. So examples would be you exercise at least 3 times a week. That's wonderful. I love that one. Engage in both strength training and cardiovascular exercise each time. So that's saying 3 times a week. I do at least one strength training, not one strength training exercise, but I do strength training. Let's just say the major muscle groups, and I do a cardiovascular exercise each time I'm there too. Like let's say you're in the gym. And then that third one refers to intensity. So gradually increase the duration and intensity of your workouts over time. So by setting these standards, you can stay motivated, consistent, and achieve better results. Okay, let's see. The role of mindset in achieving sustainable results. So achieving sustainable weight loss is not just about diet and exercise. So this is where a large part of our program at Level Up is it's not focused on nutrition. I'm not just a dietitian in our program, and I'm not just a trainer in our program. Like, there's 3 things that make everything work after surgery or with any kind of life change, and that's diet, exercise, and mindset. So we got to have the mindset portion of it. It is a missing puzzle piece if we do not. By setting standards for yourself in terms of your mindset, you can transform your attitude toward healthy living. And you may want to kind of put an emphasis on mindset first and foremost so that it helps you adhere to your standards with exercise and diet. So the role of mindset in achieving sustainable results. Standards in mindset. So examples here would be cultivating a positive mindset. So maybe what it means to cultivate a positive mindset is what are the things that you're doing to create that positive mindset? Are you watching guided positive affirmations on TV just to get yourself pumped up and make yourself feel like a badass, like sometimes you really need to do that. Are you talking positively to yourself? Or are you journaling things as reflection and really kind of complimenting yourself for the things that you've done, reflecting, that kind of thing? So creating a positive mindset, like having a good reason for what you're doing, that really helps put things into a positive mindset as well. You want to kind of talk to yourself about, well, why am I choosing this sugar-free protein rich coffee over this loaded sugary coffee? You know, which one is truly the reward? Is it the one that's really going to sabotage your goals and your blood sugar and your appetite for the day? Or is it the one that's going to, you know, actually serve the purpose of drinking the coffee, which is going to pump you up a little bit and you're getting your protein? So, you know, you want to kind of know why you're making the choices and the standards that you're making, and that helps you to create more of a positive mindset as well. Next would be committing to self-care. So if you are not one that's really good at putting yourself first or really practicing self-care, this is probably an area you might need to work on first and foremost. So committing to self-care could be number one, just allowing the time to yourself to reflect on what it is you need in your life. So right now, if you are attending this not workshop, but if you're attending the support group, you are practicing self-care. If you end up taking this information and you start doing your homework, you're practicing self-care. You set aside time to plan your meals for the week. And when you're going to exercise, that's self-care. When you are meditating and expressing gratitude in the morning, or you're just, you know, taking some time to yourself to read and basically check out from life and just like, you know, take care of your mental status, that's self-care. If you're going to therapy, that's self-care. You get where I'm going with all of this. Next, practicing gratitude. I kind of covered that one. So maybe you say to yourself, I'm going to get up in the morning with the sunrise, maybe not with the sunrise, I don't know, but I'm going to get up every morning before I go to work, before my hectic day begins. I'm going to make it a non-negotiable to do 5 minutes of a guided gratitude meditation on YouTube outside, looking at my backyard or the beautiful scenery or whatever. So, you know, set some time aside to practice gratitude on a daily basis. Maybe that's your new standard. Surrounding yourself with a supportive community. I mean, your Facebook group here, your family, you know, whatever that is. But these all help with creating your own standards in mindset. Maybe you tell yourself with the community part, I'm going to attend one support group, or I regularly attend support groups and attend workshops, you know, something like that. By upholding these standards, you can establish healthy patterns of behavior that will help you overcome obstacles and achieve your goals in a sustainable way. So the part that I like best in this sentence is you can establish healthy patterns. Okay. Patterns is what we're looking for when we are trying to create consistency. So you create healthy habits, healthy patterns, you create consistency. It all becomes easier for you to overcome these obstacles that come your way. I consider holidays an obstacle. I consider vacations an obstacle. I consider, you know, people coming to visit your home, or you've got a house guest. That's an obstacle. Work is an obstacle. You know, you kind of have to identify all these obstacles to kind of know what your standards could be. So the power of setting standards for yourself. This is kind of a wrap up. So number one, they're going to serve you in the long term. So you create standards for yourself. You start telling yourself, I don't do this, or I do this. You're going to create more of a habit and consistency, which of course ends up serving you the best in the long term, which means longer term or longer sustaining goals or sustained goals. And then staying motivated and focused. Standards really do help you stay motivated and focused. So how does it motivate you? Well, maybe standards are much easier for you to follow and adhere to. So that definitely is motivating in that sense. And also will help you to stay focused. You're not focused on X, 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 all these specifics. You know, setting a standard can help you to stay focused on the big picture. You may possibly achieve better results by setting standards instead of goals. And we've already mentioned this before, creating a foundation of healthy habits, behaviors, and attitudes. Please don't mind the typo on this last page. I don't know how I didn't catch this. I was like, oh, it's perfect. And then I look at it, I'm like, what the crap? But okay, starting off, I want you guys to do some homework, okay? And you're going to put your answers in the Facebook support group. excuse me. So what will your standards be for the remainder of this year and 2024? So you can think short-term standards right now if you want to, like what's going to get you through your Christmas vacation and New Year's. What are just some bare minimum standards that you can set that you can be proud of, that you can kind of pump yourself up for the new year? And before you even get to the new year, what are your standards going to be for nutrition, exercise, and mindset? So I'm going to post this recording on the Facebook group, and you can refer back to this and see the slides if you would like, just as a reference for the examples. But I want to see some answers. Like, you sharing your answer with others in a support group can be really, really motivating to others, and it can give others some ideas of what they may need to do or want to do. So and if you have issues or trouble with creating your own standards or sticking to goals and standards, hello, we're here for you. We are Level Up Bariatrics. We're here to help you level up, guys. And I have trained peer coaches, one being Gianna, one being Jen. They've gone through this whole process themselves, and they are here for you. We are all here for you. So if you're interested in our program and you need help with creating standards and kind of sticking to your guns for a few months, and then we can set you free after that, then let's do that too. We're ready and waiting to help you guys whenever you need us. That's why we're here. So